Black women versus black men, therapist perspective. There's been a trend, unfortunately, in our community of an increasing divide between the women and the men in our community. Salute to the black women who have put in a lot of work and effort in empowering and inspiring the men, your sons, your grandsons, your brothers in our community. And there have been many women who have put in tremendous effort, research, Dr. Frances Quest Welsing, etc., Maya Angelou, just countless amounts of women who have put in, black women who have put in a lot of effort and tremendous thought into unifying our community. These are just my ideas and my opinions on the facts and variables, not only socially, but also psychologically, that are acting almost as if a machine has set these factors into motion in the psyche of our people. To discuss and unpack the divide between black men and black women, you have to also take into consideration many different factors and dimensions of a human being's social engineering, particularly between men and women in the world that we live in, also factoring race. So I'm going to hit a few points. I won't be able to hit everything because the list is exhaustive. But from my observations and my personal opinion, when you look at just the engineering of the female culture, when they first start off as small children, many women, many girls. I have two daughters, one that just turned 13 yesterday. I have a 2-year-old daughter. And as men, as fathers, we're almost, without even knowing it, involuntarily led to tell our daughters things like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, that looks gorgeous on you. Oh, you're." So a lot of men don't hear this at the same rate as girls do when they're young. And this creates a template in a lot of young girls' minds of being beautiful, being gorgeous is important. We don't do it maliciously as parents. It's just human nature has a really tricky way of setting things in motion without really looking at the unintended consequences of these things that we do, as we are creatures of habit. So, in the culture of women, younger girls, and not only in their households, they hear it from their mother, they hear it from their father, they're hearing it from their grandmother, they're getting put in these different dresses, all these different things. It just becomes a looks driven dimension that is sort of set into motion in the female psychology. And when they branch out from the household, a lot of girls, and they go into elementary school, middle school, they get positioned around other females who are also measuring them based off of attractiveness. Are you light skinned? Are you dark skinned? What are you wearing? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? Where did you get this from? These very sort of material driven variables psychologically. Oh, you look so pretty. Oh, how did you get your hair like this? You got hair that they can measure. They got outfits that they're measuring. They got their shoes that they're measuring. I mean, unfortunately, and my heart goes out to the younger women today and the older women. You guys are kind of measured against a lot of different variables materially that it's almost like a prison. They're looking at your nose size. Oh, your eyebrows, even down to the eyelashes. Damn, girl, you got some good eyelash. It's just every little thing about these girls becomes a critique or some sort of definitive measure of their value. And when you're socially engineered into that type of environment from elementary school, middle school, high school, I mean, even my daughter, when she was 9 or 10, was asking me to take her to get her nails done. I'm like, what is this about? And me being a male, it's like I understand as a young preteen, girls are growing into them to themselves, I'm not gonna, hammer her or punish her for that. So sometimes I would take her, but I just think in the back of my mind, like, man, this sort of reality that women sort of get pulled into looking at other girls on social media starts at a very, very young age. So just the psychology of the woman and what they're up against. These are all spiritual attacks. It's a lot more complex, in my opinion, in terms of the physical and spiritual realm than a lot of the men deal with. Men, for the most part, we could really care less about your nose size, your jaw structure. Is there a symmetry in your face? Oh man, Joe's eyelashes are outstanding. We don't really care. And the divide between black men and black women is in a lot of ways also attributed to the divide in the love and relationships in the black community. It's almost a echo of when love goes wrong in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, you don't really see a lot of women leaders that they sort of organize themselves around as a collective in the black community. I can't think of one black female leader that most younger girls, middle-aged women, older women are like, yeah, she's her. It just seems like every time some sort of female of some sort of notoriety or leadership or some sort of just virtue comes up, it's like a divide. Some girls really like her, some girls don't like her, it just gets really crazy. But with the men can kind of point to in the black community leaders, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I mean, the list just goes on and on of male leaders. So a large part of the divide between black men and black women, not all, but it falls also on the men because we are the leaders a lot of times in our households, in our communities, and what we lead with, people tend to, the women tend to follow. Look at today. You can't say nothing to a lot of these younger women about having multiple partners or if they're dating and they're not really committed to anybody. They may have like one or two guys they're talking to. They might not even be sleeping with the dude, but you better not say nothing to them about it because they're looking at it like, dude, you men do this all the time. And when I hear that rhetoric repeatedly, oh, well, the men do it. Oh, well, that lets me know everything I need to know. We are the leaders and our reputation precedes us. So what we have led with, they're emulating essentially. So a lot of the divide between black men and black women is just love, relationships, commitment, trauma. And not only that, household division, social engineering, all of this stuff is sort of like a cocktail that just kind of came together as a perfect storm in the black community. And we're seeing what we're seeing today. And a lot of black females, not all, I want to be mindful of not going into like black and white thinking, but you're starting to see this growing population of black girls who are like, hey, you white guys, you guys are the leaders of America. You guys set the tone. Because that's the reason why I bring up love and relationships, because unfortunately, men, when they get a lot of money, notoriety, status, and they're engineered to believe the more money I have, the better quality of women I should have. So that plays a role into it too. And you better believe a lot of these white men, they know, especially the white identity extremists, they know to get to the black man and to bring him down, you go through the woman. Even if the black dude doesn't even like black women, they still got black mothers. So there's still something psychologically that happens, I believe, when a black man sees a black woman with a white man. And even when a black woman sees a black man with a white woman, it's a mess. It's a mess. And it becomes a vetting process. Oh, I got this money, so I'm entitled to whatever kind of quality women that I want. And when black men are in an environment and conditions that have been scientifically and socially constructed to keep them at a certain class and income level, that even affects your ability to produce, to provide. It affects your self esteem. It affects how you even see yourself. You start telling yourself, I'm not qualified for the type of black woman that I really want because I don't make enough income. I don't have enough to really produce or provide. And how even America is socially designed in a lot of ways, it really benefits the women. America is not the black women specifically have a better chance. And I'm mindful that they have situations and circumstances of oppression, of discrimination, and prejudice, just like black men. However, the black women community, the female community in the black diaspora is so tight, even though they don't have leadership, a strong leadership figure that they can just point to, their social connection to each other is so tight. They operate off a lot of unspoken rules. What's understood doesn't really need to be explained. You're a woman, I'm a woman. You're attractive, I'm attractive. You know how these men are. You know they can be dogs. I know. You know they run off of women are really spiritual. They don't really need to say a lot to each other to get it. they, they almost have some sort of like psychic. Black women have like a psychic connection to each other. So that's psychic quality where they could just look at each other and say, I get you. That keeps them so tight, and they'll defend their girls from even taking on a brother who their friends don't believe are up to par or of good quality for that black woman. And he could be a good guy. But the homegirls are like, "Hey, you could do better. He's a fucking dirtbag." You got a lot of these different variables that come into to play to the divide too. Even some black mothers be jealous of their daughters, and they finally get a good black man, someone who's doing the right thing. I don't, he's all right. Women are very sensitive to black women are very so sensitive to social influence. They're all about the female group. That's why so many of these blogs and websites and all these different things, you'll be surprised at some of the stuff these girls talk about on these different websites. They are super locked in terms, and they don't even have to know each other. They just it's just a totally different reality than a lot of men, and in some ways, it's a good thing because there's nothing wrong with having community. There's nothing wrong with that. So the divide between the black man and the black women and the black man, psychological dynamic. Your beliefs, your assumptions in therapy. I can't tell you how many beliefs, unhealthy attitudes that go back to people's childhood that they still carry till this day. They're in their 40s and their 50s. A lot of that stuff that happens to these younger women, these younger men, elementary school, even middle school, especially if there was bullying involved or maybe they got rejected. They human beings are good for holding on to hurt. I'm telling you. And what happens? All of those physical experiences of relationships and dating, rejection, abandonment. Oh, I tried to talk to this girl. She didn't accept my Valentine's Day sucker in middle school. I never forgot. All that stuff transmits and translates into a narrative. Black women don't like me. Black women like the bad guys. Black men like the white girls. All that stuff turns into like a script. And what the psychology says is the more experiences, once that script is that film is sort of put into play, it creates a bias in the human psychology where they're going to selectively attend. It's like a confirmation bias. They're going to selectively attend to information and feedback that confirms that narrative, that confirms that story. And they start seeing more exposure to that, oh, see, another black man with a white woman. Oh, another black man with an Asian woman. Oh, another black girl with a white man. Oh, talk to another black girl. She doesn't want me. Oh, but all that stuff just makes these narratives and these belief systems stronger. It turns to like iron bars for your mind. And before you know it, you start moving off of these different scripts involuntarily, where you just naturally are not drawn to your people because these scripts have been running for so long. Now it's being sort of absorbed in your nervous system. Now, to even go against some of these scripts and beliefs that you've developed, it's sort of becomes an anxiety reaction. You're just like, "Oh my god, this black guy tried to talk to me," and you don't even mean any harm. It's just it becomes so novel to you because you've been functioning off the old way of doing things. So there's a psychology piece to this. There's a social engineering piece to this. There's a family of origin, family piece to this, and black men really dropped the ball We did. The rap videos, making our women look like hoes in these videos. We should have shut that down. That's why one thing Star I might not agree with everything the Star Report says, because I just take what non-believers say with a grain of salt. However, I don't diminish the reality that they do come with wisdom. We should have had some sort of hip hop council from the gate. That really that I just think the damage that we done psychologically to our women as black men with that hip hop music, we did. It's just some things you just it's almost like when the damage is done, what can you really do? Yeah, there's in psychology this thing called corrective emotional experience where you try to recorrect what you've done, but it would have to take the people that have set a lot of this stuff in motion are not even with us today. And you have a lot of younger black men who are just like, to hell with these women. I'm going to still keep degrading them. I'm going to still keep putting out this content and information out like that because this is what makes money. This is what sells. And now, if a female is to come into the rap industry clothed, righteous, covered up, no ass out, no tits out, they might they might look at that and chuckle like, "What are you doing? This isn't what it just became now. It became the other cultures in the music industry, the Jewish community, the white community, they're all the same. How can we capitalize off of this? These black folks already in poverty, they already broke. How can we make money off of their condition? Because black women are not just attractive to black men. You have a lot of white men who lust after black women, Asian men, Hispanic men. Black women are very beautiful women. So it's not like, you know, nobody else loves them. And that's another thing that kind of contributes to the divide too, is it becomes up to the individual to either commit to their community and the men in their community or do with their options. A lot of times younger females, they believe, you know, the men who used you generally have options like the attractive dudes, the alpha males, the gang bangers, the basketball captain, the good basketball player who can dunk, dudes who know they can get girls. Women tend to be attracted to that. And it's social engineering. Oh, girl, you need to talk to him. Oh, I don't talk to the other guy. He's a lame. A lot of their relationship choices, women would be surprised, are mostly socially driven. If they could choose on their own and you can remove all the noise, that would probably solve half their problem. But there's such a tight, what doesn't need to be explained, psychic connected community. A black man would be lucky to get through the door of a house of a black woman without going through her friends and her family and her constituents. So that's another piece right there too. And we're going after the man who has the most attraction, who has the most options. And a lot of times these dudes, especially if they're young and they're not skilled, they abuse it. If it's a dude that's young, high school, he got options. Ain't no guarantee he gonna commit to you and marry you. I got Joe, Jane, Jessica, Dominique. I got all these different options. So sometimes it's a product of also women's choices, and they may have had an opportunity to get with the brother who may not have had a whole lot of options, but he would treat her right and take care of her. But how we're socially engineered, we go for the thrill. Oh, I'm gonna get bored with that. And I'm not saying all women are like that, but that is a factor. Well, they'll overlook the dudes who try, who are average, quote unquote, and they'll go after the dudes that kind of create this spark and this thrill. Women can be very complicated. They could be very complicated. And this isn't to blame or fault you guys like that. It's just, you're not going to just get a girl these days just being yourself. There's all these different strategies you got to do. You can't text too much because if you text too much, you look thirsty. Then if you text too little, it's like you're ghosting them. There's really no middle ground with you guys. If you're too attractive, they're gonna think you're gay because you're trying to out beauty them. But then if you're not attractive enough, you're worrying about them looking at somebody else, or you're not hot enough. If you're too fit, they might think you're gay. If you're not that fit, they think you're unhealthy. If you're making too much money, he's gonna try to abuse me. He's misogynistic. If you're not making enough money, you're not. I'm making more money than you. It's just like it's there's no middle. So that also plays a role into it. Men having to go to all these different groups and communities, the alpha community, this community, that community, to learn how to get a woman. It shouldn't be that deep. The days of just being yourself and doing the right thing are long gone. Now you got to have all these strategies. And men are not satisfied. They get a good woman, she's doing the right thing. His head is on a swivel looking everywhere. So it's really an exacerbated dark reality of the consequences of the love and relationship state in our community that has birthed and contributed to this divide in our community.